Today we're going to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers and the scandal highlights reputation risk in sports. The Los Angeles Clippers are a professional basketball team in the National Basketball Association based in Los Angeles, California, known to be one of the most popular cities with a high market percent rate. The Clippers' influences turned for the best in the early 2010s with the obtaining of vital players like Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. In 2013, the franchise won its first division title as the team made the playoffs for the ninth time in franchise history and the third time in the past 8 seasons. They implemented an addition to their up-and-coming competitiveness with the Lakers, as they finished with a better record than the Lakers for the 5th time and won the season sequence for the 2nd time. The Clippers repeated as division champions in 2014, which is this year. At the bottom we have Blake Griffin's power forward, and we have Chris Paul, point guard. We'll also discuss the band of Donald Sterling. On April 29th, 2014, which is ironically my birthday, owner Donald Sterling was banned from the NBA for life and not allowed to attend any more Clippers games or associate with the league because of his alleged racist comments recorded and reported by his mistress, saying, "It bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associated with black people. Do you have to?" He went on to say, "You can sleep with black people. You can bring them in and do whatever you want. The little I ask you to do is not to promote it on that," which is social media, and in bold print, not bring them to my games. He went further after embarrassing himself even further. Don't put him, which is Magic Johnson, on an Instagram for the world to have to see so that they'll have to call me. And again, saying, don't bring him to my games. So this clearly clarifies that the them that he's speaking of would be African Americans or minorities to some extent. As I move on, we notify ourselves with looking at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So we'll start with our strengths. The Clippers have a young, talented team. They are playoff contenders. They have some all-star and future Hall of Famers. Doc Rivers is their head coach, and he's the highest paid coach in the NBA. And he's also won championships. Also, the top players can sell the seats and the team themselves. The weakness is the owner, Donald Sterling, doesn't display a good character and has no respect from his fans, players, community, and organization. Flawed reputation with fellow owners and a tarnished reputation at that. So when you're looking at the losing of sponsorship and money revenue and community support, it all around builds around that flawed relationship with fellow owners and the tarnished reputation that he'll just continue to have. We're moving on to our opportunities. They have a chance to rebuild the organization and earn support back from the fans and the community. Everybody's always given that second chance. The rivalry, Los Angeles Lakers team, is struggling at the moment. So at this time, at the Los Angeles' struggle, which they've always done well in the past, from the 80s to the 2000s, they've done well with championship wins, which has kept the Clippers silent. But now that they are at their weak moment, the Clippers do have a chance to represent LA and its fans to the world by winning. They can also take a sympathetic approach of persuasion from the players and teams to the consumers. They're looking at it, and I'm looking at it like the fans and the community say, well, it's not the players' fault. They play a good game. They know what they're doing. They relate to the fans, the community. They do sponsorships themselves. They do charity drives. So why should the players or the team have to suffer because of one bad owner's comment and views? The threats that we look at are the loss of support of fans. I mean, who wants to be a fan of that? That type of thinking in 2014. It's just not honored, and it's not tolerated. So they're going to lose those deals, and also the player themselves, they feel insulted to the point where they don't want to play for a man that actually views them in this sort of light. It's very discouraging. So again, we go back to that point where it'll be difficult for him to get sponsorship because of this. Now, the players, they took a stand, okay? They took a stand. They said the players are going to stand together. They'll wear no Clipper paraphernalia on their uniforms. So they have blank jerseys. And during the Game 4 of 2014 playoffs against the Golden State Warriors, and their message is, we are one. Their message is, they are one unit. So if we're looking at numbers, Sprint's last year shot at nearly $760 million on various advertising campaigns, while State Farm total was nearly $620 million. It said advertising and media research these companies. We're looking at big spenders in the market, okay? And this negative type of feedback, would suggest that by looking at the data, that people just don't respond well to this. And he's losing a wide array of, which is very vital to him. As we look and move forward, we look at what at our advertisers and how they feel. I mean, it's all around deal that people look at, and it's a big missed opportunity now that the Clippers have emerged from the shadows of the Los Angeles Lakers, which is making it challenging for them to actually get more sponsorship and get themselves on a larger map. So the average NBA team has over 100 sponsors, totaling $20 million in annual sponsorship revenue. So the Clippers have not disclosed their profits from advertising and sponsorships. Now we look at the people that sponsor them. I mean, here's a guy that's he's looking at what's going on as he's taking a picture of everything, and you notice, a lot of things are actually covered up. And these banned and these billboards have a lot of people that project advertisements for the Clippers. Well, people don't want to tarnish their name by being associated with, the Clippers now that the owner, Donald Sterling, is projected himself in such a fashion. So you got CarMax, Sprint, you got Amtrak, you got Lumber Liquidators. We move on to Red Bull, State Farm, I mean, these are big type contenders along with Kia Motors. And as we move on, you'll see these quotes that take place with Kia Motors and CarMax. It's a very discouraging thing, but at the end of both conversations, they basically say, look, we can't tolerate this. We don't want to be affiliated with this. This is unacceptable. This is just a belligerent type of act, and we're not going to support it or deal with it. So we can't associate with it until you guys come up with better means. We also have State Farm Insurance. Of course, Chris Paul. He does that fabricated sense with having a nerdy brother that works for State Farm called Cliff Paul, and we have Virgin America. So again, these people don't want to be affiliated with this. I mean, now Chris Paul will go on to doing those commercials, which is a great benefit for him and the team on a positive note. Because the player himself has a good reputation with the community and fans, and as well as the sponsors. But as far as the Clippers are concerned, that's a no-go. And then we have Red Bull, and then we have Aqua Hydrate. We are basically saying the same thing. They don't want to be affiliated with this type of action. And looking at the percentages of what they donate, as a partner. So, this is a very disheartening thing. Now, here is Donald Sterling with his wife. After in my earlier presentation, you see Donald Sterling with his mistress, at the game, which is a very disrespectful type of thing to his wife, and the fans don't cater to that either. You're a guy, you're older, you got a mistress. We know that this might happen, but to be able to flaunt your mistress out in public, knowing that you have a wife, and then turn around and bring your wife, that's even more discouraging and embarrassing to know and put out in public. So in this November 12, 2010 film or photo, Shelly Sterling sits with her husband, Donald Sterling, on the right during the Los Angeles Clippers NBA basketball game against the Detroit Pistons in Los Angeles. So Sterling's attorneys have asked the court on Thursday, June 19th, which is this week, 2014, to hold a hearing on allegations that Donald Sterling and his attorneys have threatened her legal team and the doctors who assert that the Los Angeles Clippers co-owner is mentally incapacitated. So below is an audio recording of the issue that are mentioned above that I just read. So if you go to that, you'll be able to see and you'll be able to hear what's actually taking place. As I conclude, I want to go on to say before I mention some things that would actually help out the franchise of the Clippers, that the owners or top executives of companies who say and do inappropriate things can damage their business image and have tremendous negative consequences on their brands and the values of their organizations. I believe the racist comments brought destructive attention to the companies that supported the Clippers organization. Discrimination is not what they believe in and has no tolerance for. The Clippers produce fans from all over the nation with different ethnicities to come together with the same support. With the racist allegations held by Donald Sterling, this mistake discourages potential companies from endorsing the LA Clippers until a positive result is created, if that will ever happen. Now, in my opinion, the LA Clippers staff should unify focus and their time and energy on turning the organization towards a new and more positive atmosphere where the fans and community can believe again. Currently, Donald Sterling is visiting African American churches and donating to these churches to help redeem his image and new train of thought and direction of efforts to regain his former audience and new audience. So the first step would be to hire a new owner that supports the rebuilding process. Second would be to regain the trust, interest, and respect back from their fans by making advertisements with new owners and top diverse players like Blake Griffin, whose parents are both white and black, showing unity and acceptance. And then third step of his campaign would be to show commercial photos of team sponsoring culturally diverse Little League teams throughout first Los Angeles and then the rest of the nation. Thank you for the presentation.